Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Build, Paint, Play. I'm Dave.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Simon. Hooray!
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Simon.
Here he is.
The other side, Jake. He's on the other side.
Oh, he's here on my screen. He's over here?
He's over there, yep.
Yeah.
That's how he's appearing on everybody else's screen. And of course,
Nice.
my camera is back to front because technology. We had it working for a little bit there, but something else is happening. Anyway, but welcome everybody to the first episode of 2023, the first episode of Season 2. Can you believe it? Because
We did it! We did it!
Because nobody can actually cancel us.
Yeah.
We are back. We are back for to punish you with more inane chatter about toy soldiers. So yes, quick run around. Just quickly then, Simon Berman is the founder and president.
Yeah, technically yes.
I can never remember. It's a much better title, but
I went with the old union phrase, which is general president.
General
which is,
president.
very old school, but
nice.
I would be very embarrassed if he actually referred to me by any of that.
Okay, no worries. Simon is the founder of the Brush Wielders Union, which is an online community of folks who are into playing war games, fully painted. So getting their minis painted on a regular basis so that they can enjoy the full spectacle of miniature wargaming. And it's all about supporting each other and helping each other, sort of encouraging each other along the way, providing additional hints and tips and techniques and all that sort of stuff. And a big part of it is why I wanted to have Simon on the show this evening, because it is the new year. And folks like to do New Year's resolutions or hobby resolutions or any of that kind of thing. The Brush Wielders Union is kind of it's not focused around, but a focal point of the Brush Wielders Union is the monthly and annual hobby pledges. So, Simon, could you quickly tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So just to kind of set the stage for Brush Wielders Union, it is sort of a little bit focused on miniatures wargaming, but not exclusively. Like, we have members who paint Dungeons and Dragons figures or exclusively paint board game figures because the quality of board game figures is pretty high these days.
Yep.
And we even have a number of members who are almost purely competitive painters. So the stuff they're painting never gets played with. But yeah, the rank and file, the average person probably does play miniatures war games, but it's not exclusively that.
Okay.
Cool. So I in theory, we like to be there for all miniatures painters of whatever kind of games or not games you're playing or not playing. Yep. I think that makes sense.
It's miniatures only, right? Like, so, I mean, like Gundams and models would count. Like, if I want to paint my USS Enterprise, that'd be fine. But there's no, like, fine artists who are, like, working with canvas only who are Brush Wielders Unions or...
I mean, I would let them in, sure. But no, not to my knowledge. We do have some Gundam painters, Gundam hobbyists, and I think I've got at least one person in Germany who's mostly into model railroading, but that's sort of, adjacent. So there's some crossover there. Yeah, no,
I'm house painter.
I'll take them. So we Brush Wielders Union's been around since end of December 2018, so we're going into our 5th year right now, which is pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it's exciting. Especially because we had a pandemic that really put a crimp in things for a few years in the middle of that.
Sure.
That's weird. I would think it would have helped because like you're like, well, I guess I'll stay home and paint all day.
It did. I mean, the cool thing is, very few. I have very little turnover as far as people tend to join and they stay a member. Obviously, there's some turnover, but by and large during the pandemic, people stayed because they were painting a whole lot. But the place I tend to meet people and talk about the union stuff for the most part has been at conventions. And that of course took a nosedive for about 2 years in the middle of that. Last year was the first time I was back at Adepticon. I go to Adepticon and 20 people sign up a day, right? Like so, but being able to like sit there and press the flesh and all that stuff was huge. But yeah, the pandemic definitely slowed things down a bit. But it was cool because the people who were members stayed members, and a lot of people told me like how valuable it was to them to have access to the Brush Wielders Discord, and the letter they get every month from me, which is generally just me rambling about the hobby, with a sticker that goes in their membership kit and all of that stuff. But no, it was cool. I think a lot of people got really close in the union during that time period. Because everybody was like, "Well, I can't leave the house, but I sure am going to paint this pile of Space Marines I've had in the basement for 6 years." So there was a lot of camaraderie around that, which was cool. But I think you asked me a question about the annual pledge, which was where I was supposed to be talking about.
It's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
what you're doing is like.
Oh, hang on. The guy up in the booth is in my ear. Well, wait. No, there is no guy in the booth.
So just quickly, I'm going to say hi to Sean and hi to Josh in the chat. Welcome, ahoy. No, what I was going to say is Simon also, for the Brush Wielders Union, also has a monthly podcast. So he's very adept at asking questions that move the story along. I'm not so adept at that, so I'm glad that Simon is answering all of the questions that I should be asking.
Yeah, part of one of the big things around the union has become the annual hobby pledge. And every year, starting on January 1st, anybody who's a full member of the Brush Wielders Union, who gets their membership kit and all that stuff, they can email me what their hobby pledge for the year is. And you've got starting this year, we've got between January 1st and the last day of March to get that pledge into me. And that pledge can be anything. The pledge can be, I'm going to paint 2,000 points of Eldar this year, or I am going to paint a set of terrain for a game I happen to like. I got people who pledge things a little sort of that, like I want to learn a new technique this year, and sometimes they'll say, I want to learn how to do airbrush blending or something, or they just want to say, just a new technique, right? And those are all totally valid hobby pledges. It's it's sort of setting an expectation for how you're going to use your hobby time. A lot of people devote their pledges to clearing out their backlog, which is very admirable. But whatever it is, if you're still a full member 1 year later in the following January, you get a unique pin. And for example, this is 2022 pin. I hope you can see that, but we do a different design every year. We'll have a new one, which I've revealed the image of. I don't order them until the end of the year, so I don't actually have it in hand, but it's always something different. Like this is the 2021 pin from last year. So at the end of the year, if you let me know if you succeeded in your pledge, you email me you did, and you get this with your new membership kit in the new year. So it's a little something, it's an enamel pin. I think it's cool, but it's a little token to keep you motivated and going. So that's kind of what the yearly hobby pledge for Brush Wielders Union is about.
How does enforcement work? How do you
I come to your house, actually.
Yeah, you're like, where's that 2,000 points of Eldar we talked about?
Yeah, and no, it's all opt-in, right? So if at the end of the year you have until December 31st, or you get until you have to complete your pledge by the 31st, but you can report it until the second week of January. So actually, if you're listening, you haven't reported your pledge yet, please do. But yeah, it's entirely up to you. So if you feel you met your pledge, you email me and say, hey, I met my pledge, and no questions asked, I send you a pin to commemorate your great work for that year. And if you say you didn't, then that's cool too.
Nice.
Yep. It's I wanted to check in on it basically because I'm a I would say I'd like to say I'm a founding member of the Brush Wielders Union.
You are a founding member, actually, Dave.
Yep. So right from the very start, I was when Simon first announced it, I was like, "Oh, this sounds awesome! This sounds fantastic!" I'm all about toy soldiers and people painting toy soldiers and anything that will help them do that. I'm also somebody who I know that I'm very well aware that 12 months is a very long time to keep a pledge for painting something. And there's going to be a lot of wonderful things released in the next 12 months that I know that I'm going to want to paint as soon as they're released. So I have never actually pledged anything. So, I have my booklets and they're all completely empty because
Low risk, low reward.
yeah, I'm fairly confident that I'm going to keep painting. So that's all right, but I'm very happy to support the program. But now that I know that just send you an email and say, hey, for 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, I completed all my pledges.
Yeah, I actually have a few pins left over from most of those years. So if you feel like you earned them, I'll be happy to send them to you.
We'll talk after the show.
Yeah, all right.
As somebody who doesn't paint for a living, I think for the rest of us, it's a cool. Please, I think it is a cool thing to have kind of that extra impetus to push you towards getting that stuff done. A big one with a lot of us is it's just time management, right? So a good friend of mine and I were talking the other day about going to Adepticon. My favorite show. I'm sure I will see both of you handsome devils there. So getting ready for it this year, a friend of ours was like, "Oh, I had a really hard time getting into a lot of the events that I wanted to do. You're going to be there, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I'm working." He's like, "Right, but when the hall closes, we can play games." And I was like, "Sure." So he's like, "Bring some Horus Heresy and we'll play." So I have decided that I'm going to build and paint 2,000 points of Iron Warriors for Adepticon.
Yes.
Now, part of this got started too because another friend of ours who Dave knows, and I'm not going to name any names, I don't want to throw him under a bus. But he was saying that that's impossible. You like, I'll never be able to get that done. And I was like, well, what are you working on? And he's also working on 2,000 points of an army for Horus Heresy. And I was like, well, just get it done for Adepticon. It's, 3 months away-ish. Like, you should be okay. And I got every excuse under the sun. Oh, my schedule's too crazy, and like I don't have the time. And I was like, I know what your schedule was like for the most part. Like, you're telling me that you couldn't set aside 2 hours a week from now until then to get that army done. And then it was like, well, I mean, I can never get my army painted to the standard that I want it. And I was like, okay, but you could get it table ready and then you could just keep adding to it. Well, that's not the way that I paint. Like everything it was like, I'm going to play this card. I'm going to play this card. I'm going to play that card. I was like, okay. So yeah, I think there's a lot of times where people are just, I think it's hard enough to get stuff painted as it is.
Yep.
But, you're always going to have people that are trying to make excuses. And I think that Brush Wielders Union is kind of the opposite, which is it gives you one more reason to like try to get stuff done. So I really appreciate it. I think it's really cool.
Yep.
There's only that. There's also, we have the Discord for members only. And, we have people who pop in and they'll be like, oh, I don't feel like painting tonight, but I know I should. Somebody kick my ass and tell me, to sit down and get 20 minutes in. That 20 minutes in often turns into an hour and a half, right? But, just having somebody around is going to be like, paint your minis.
Seriously, somebody guilt trip me until I sit down.
Yeah, exactly. The flip side of it too is occasionally people will be like, "Man, I'm just not into painting today. I feel really guilty about it." And the answer is always like, to take the night off, right? Like don't turn your hobby into something to flog yourself with.
Yep. No, exactly. I think that's a great thing. May last year, I signed up for one of the Conqueror Challenge things where you walk and enter the amount of miles that you've walked into the app, and at the end you get a medal. You pay for it, you buy into it, and you get a medal at the end. And I did that. I did the Lord of the Rings one, which
that's what Ray did that too, right?
Yeah, Ray did that as well. So that included 5 different medals along the way, but I know that the way that I work and the way that I go about exercise, which is very poorly. So the idea of telling people, hey, I'm going to start exercising and hey, everybody keep me accountable. I'm quite happy to say to people, if they say, hey, Dave, have you been walking? I'm just going, no.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like, I've spent this money already. I'm going to do this thing that will get me what I paid for.
No, but Dave, but that's perfect. It's very on brand. You're like, but the medal abandoned, Dave. Like,
yeah.
It could have been fun, but so I'm doing that again this year. But I think it's things like that are there's flexibility built in, so you can say you get to determine what you want to do, what you want to pledge, and what you want to do during the year. if you want to come up with a new pledge for something for the monthly pledge, like here's what I'm going to do in March, or here's what I'm going to do in April. It might be March, attend 2 seminars at Adepticon. Could be something like that.
If you were able to...
There really isn't so much of a monthly pledge as, the membership. I got one here just for an example, but this is the 2023 pledge. But it's really meant to be like a log for whatever you're painting on. So you got the Union pledge at the beginning and your membership information there. But then each month is just kind of a way for you to like keep a track of what you're working on. You got some painting notes and stuff like that, and so on and so forth.
There's gonna be so many blank pages.
It's there to help you, but I don't necessarily recommend that everybody uses it as like I'm doing a pledge to do this. It's more of like a track of like it's to keep track of your journey as a miniatures painter.
Right.
And I don't think it's necessarily a good thing to turn it into a competition even with yourself all the time. So much as like a way to look back and go, oh, I did paint these things this month, right? And it's just a nice way to look back on your previous year's work and stuff. And I put paint recipes and stuff in there too. And I actually printed on sticker. Sorry,
it's the sticker on the fridge. Like that's, you know what I mean? It's oh, you did your homework. Here's a sticker. Like
yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Cool. But I did print on a heavy stock paper, so I actually I'll paint like my paint swatches in there if I'm mixing stuff up sometimes with my ratios and things. So it's meant to be a little handy journal more than a competitive thing or even a pledge thing.
Yeah. No, that's definitely good. I like the idea of being able to look back and use that to propel you forward. Really.
Yeah.
Rather than
I can see it being really handy too. Because I paint my own stuff so sporadically. If I'm working on a unit that I haven't painted in a while, I might go, oh, they did like. One of the things that ran into me all the time is when Games Workshop loves changing their paint names.
Yep.
So I'm using like essentially what is their now it's their Mephiston Red, but when I worked for GW the first time, it was 2 colors ago.
Sure.
So like I'll still have a pot of it, and I'll run out, and I'll be like, oh, I gotta get whatever this is now, and then I'll write down, oh, okay, so it's these 3 colors now, and I'll write it in my notes so that I can go back and go, how did I paint these guys? And I'm like, oh, it's these 3 colors. Yeah. It's not the other 3 that I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I think it's great to be able to have something like that.
Are there tiers
of membership?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of.
Double secret, regular, economy.
Sort of. There are 3 tiers of membership. The lowest one is just access to the Discord. That's $1 a month, or I think $10 a year, because there's a bit of a discount if you sub for a year. That gets you Discord membership, and that's it. Which is great, because I think some people they don't want that's all they need, and that's great. And I'm happy to give them a place for that. $5 a month US. That's the full Union membership. That's 95% of my members, like 99% of my members. It's $5 a month, or I think it's $50 for the year, because again, there's a discount if you subscribe for a full year. And at $5 a month, you get the Discord access, of course. You also start getting private access to a lot of the Patreon posts, so that includes things like early access to the podcasts. There's occasionally other exclusives that are on the web too. It gets you a number of discounts with some companies I've partnered with, like Goblin's Hut, who are doing the Dirty Down products, 10% off their stuff right now, or actually in perpetuity at this point. Privateer Press off their web store, their convention booth if you show your membership kit, stuff like that. So we're not a discount program, but I've been in the industry a long time, so I've got some friends, and there's some perks to Union membership. But of course, I think the most important part is every year in January you get your new Union membership booklet. So that's $5 each month, but you get this part of that kit. You get a adhesive patch, so that'll go on anything. It's pretty cool. You usually get a logo sticker if I've got them in, and you get access to the monthly letter along with the stamps and stuff. You get to take part in the pledge program. There you go. And other stuff too, like I've got a fledgling patch program which I've been talking about expanding for years, but so far it's just this one. The apprentice patch for new painters. If you started painting in the last 18 months, you get this kind of commemorated. We're going to be doing a mentor patch for teaching people. What's that?
Let's talk. Let's figure that out. I have friends in the merch industry, so we can get patches and all kinds of cool stuff done.
Right on. But yeah, I'll be doing more of these. I'll be doing a mentor patch to kind of go along with this. I'll be doing like a mason patch for hobbyists and stuff like that. It's kind of a merit patch.
Cool.
Girl Scout, Boy Scout kind of thing. But that's just free. You know, if you're a member of the BWU and you tell me I just started painting, you get that apprentice patch for free in your next month's thing.
That's awesome.
And yeah, that's the core of it, I think. And then of course I got the monthly podcast where I interview people in the industry or notable painters or hobbyists and stuff. And I've talked to people like Duncan Rhodes or Dave, of course. Any of Dave's artists for his books. Shoshi Bauer, all kinds of cool people.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We do that monthly, and I'll be up to episode 50 in May, actually. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is super.
And then, so Dave was telling me that like the double secret one, the one that's only on like OnlyFans, is Dave paints without a shirt on for like an hour on a podcast. It's
we can't talk about that here though. They'll shut us down. Oh, there actually is one more level of membership. I have 10 slots. It's called the Union Boss membership.
Nice.
It's full up right now. It's generally I keep that kind of small. That's for people who do want to contribute a little bit above and beyond. And for those people, they do get some extra stuff from every other month. And that could be things like paintbrushes, terrain building stuff, miniatures. I've gotten some cool exclusives from companies in the past. It varies every month, so I can't ever promise what it's going to be. And, are you going to make your money back? No, absolutely not. If $25 a month is too rich for you, I understand. And I'm very grateful to the people who do back it, and I try to get them some extra cool stuff. But it's people who just want to support the whole idea, and I think that's pretty cool. And that's kind of what the union's about. I'm working on a website rehaul right now, or overhaul. That's going to be up in the next couple months. And we're going to have some long-awaited merchandise because my girlfriend and long-suffering business partner, Nicole King, is a professional screen printer, and we're getting her new workshop set up. So we're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff like T-shirts and other stuff that I'm excited about, but don't want to talk about just yet until we figure out the kinks on it. But we got some cool stuff coming later this year.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Just quickly.
And I should also say, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to quickly jump in the chat.
We'll jump in. So
Josh had asked, "Is this a Patreon thing?" Yes, it is. It is a Patreon thing. In the notes below, there'll be a link to the Patreon, so you can go and check that out. Have a look at the about page.
It's just brushwielders.union.com.
Around, or you can go to brushwielders.union.com. There we go. Got that as well. I'll have to put that link. I'll add that link in after the show. Dan Wood said, "That's my issue. I always forget to fill out my book." Curse you, Dan. Last Throne Miniatures says, "Howdy, Last Throne Miniatures." Josh says, "That looks like my IBEW agreement and bylaws handbook." I think that was
the idea. Yeah,
absolutely deliberate. And Josh also says, "Weekly encouragement from Dave and Jake. Stick around. You'll love this podcast." Last Throne Miniatures. Cool. Fantastic. Thanks, Josh. Excellent. So I think just quickly we're going to jump into have a look at some photos. We're going to start off with a snapshot from me on vacation in Australia.
Is it you? Are you fighting a koala bear or some other murder beast that lives in Australia?
Not quite, but I think you will like it. I think you'll find it very Australian.
Okay.
I hope you will.
Are you upside down? You're upside down, right? Are you upside down?
Oh, damn. I should have done that. I did not do that. I'm sorry.
Come on, man.
I feel so terrible
now. We'll all imagine.
Yeah. Just everybody stand on your head. So turn your devices upside down. Lock screen. Turn. But then we're going to go and have a look at, we'll talk through some of Simon's projects that are completed in 2022. We'll have a look at some of the projects that Jake completed in 2022.
Oh, we're going to look at all of the projects that I completed in 2022.
Pretty much, yeah. Yep. And then we'll have a look at the some of my Leagues of Votan stuff, which I'm super, super pumped about. I just finished off another 5 guys today. Sweet.
Nice.
So we'll do that, and then following that, we'll have a look at bits and pieces from the Build Paint Play Facebook group, folks. Minis that people have been finishing off over Christmas and New Year's. So not really resolution pieces, but still cool stuff that people have been doing recently. So let's remember how to do this. So because this is a completely new setup for us as well, having the three of us working together, I had to go through and I didn't quite have time to work out how I was going to put all 3 of us on the screen when we have the big picture.
Doesn't it usually do 4? It's usually our logo, you and me, and then what we're showing.
Oh no! I mean, I've got the 3 of us for the big shot, the big wide shot.
Okay.
But when we go to pictures of the minis, it's just going to be you and Simon. So everybody just has to imagine my hands moving around like this. You won't be able to see them. And I'll even reach out and point at the screen, do all those sort of...
Simon and I will try to pick up.
We'll
You'll interpret. Fantastic. I appreciate it. Okay, heading on over. There we go. So this, the first photo that we have here is of my family with Sandy Claus on a beach in Australia.
I'm not seeing anything. I just see. Let me.
Well, are you watching the? Have you just got?
Watching the Discord.
You just got the Discord going?
I do just have the Discord up, which I didn't know I was going to do something else.
So what I do is in the background, just open up YouTube Build Paint Play.
Ah, okay.
And then make sure you mute that, otherwise you'll get like a weird echo Doppler thing.
A wonderful thing. So
the joys of doing it live.
Yep. I should have mentioned that beforehand. Sorry about that, Simon.
No worries. There we are.
Maybe, Josh, maybe.
All
but
right,
like,
I figured it out.
we're here, though. So these are photos of Australia. They should be upside down.
They should be. But they're not. So,
allow it.
Hooray for relativity. But yes, so this is a photo of my family with Santa Claus. So you can get your photo taken with Santa on the beach.
I imagine just out of the frame, there's a surfer getting eaten by sharks.
Two.
Oh, perfect.
Two surfers getting eaten by sharks.
Yeah.
But yes. So I wanted to include that. There we go. Good one, Josh. It's not that Australia is upside down as much as it is the rest of the world is wrong side up. I like it.
It only seems that way.
It does only seem that way. But while I was there, I discovered one of my first conversions. It's a Tech Marine, Space Marine.
Oh,
converted from an RTB01 Space Marine.
Yep.
Awesome.
And
it.
everybody remembers, but back in the day, the Rogue Trader Tech Marines had big claws on their shoulder pads.
Yeah.
So that claw is sculpted out of milliput.
And you gave him the bisected helmet with the stripes, the hazard stripes?
Yep.
Classic.
Totally Rogue Trader style there.
Dude, that box was so much fun.
Yep. I was tempted to bring this home, and I thought, nope, I'm going to leave it. Leave it in Australia. I have the photo, and now the photo is on the internet.
Yeah.
How much of that box still exists?
That model, probably.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty good. 1 out of 30.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty crazy. But anyway, that's enough of
That's super cool.
trips to Australia.
That box was so great. 12-year-old me was so happy that I found that box.
Well, that was 18-year-old me working on that. So, but it was a lot of fun. But I have transitioned the screen now to this wonderful Eldar Farseer, painted by Simon.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. He's part of the Sword Wind.
The Sword Wind?
Yes.
What's the Sword Wind?
That's the Bielton, the craft world.
Okay.
He's the right colors. He's green and white.
I knew
Come on, yeah.
I knew he was Bielton, but I didn't realize that there was a specific thing that he was a part of then.
Oh, I think the Sword Wind is just what Bielton calls their military. I don't know. I'm talking.
They're fighting forces.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Radio. My apologies, everybody. It's Eldar.
It's okay.
We'll allow it, Dave.
I'm not particularly interested in them.
We're gonna clean it up.
Yeah.
We'll clean it up in post.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! If only we could. So yeah, we've got to run through some photos here that Simon of minis that Simon painted last year. I know that at least one of them was part of your pledge.
Yeah. So the Eldar stuff, that was actually a project that got a little sidetracked. I've wanted to do an Eldar army since I was a kid. In the mid-90s, early 90s, even when I started playing 40K. But my painting skills were never really up to it, to the level I knew it was going to make me happy. And then the last few years, when I was kind of getting up to that level, a lot of the Elder line was kind of showing its age, and I was like, I'm just going to hold off until some of these have new models. And lo and behold, they put out a whole bunch of new Eldar last year. So I was like, well, the time is right. So I'd always wanted to do the Beal-Tan Force, and this was the first model I did. I actually painted this guy as part of my one and so far only competitive painting excursion.
Nice.
One of our Brush Wielders Unions, Allie, who goes by Viridian on Discord, she set up a painting competition. She got some great sponsors. Duncan Rhodes was one of the judges.
Oh, cool.
So I entered this guy as my painting piece, my first and only competitive painting piece, and I did not win, but I got some nice feedback from the judges, so that was cool. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I've been painting some Beal-Tan up. I'm actually about to start working on some jet bikes, but they kind of fell by the way because Sons of Horus Heresy project kind of blindsided me and became the second half of 2021.
Okay.
2022 for me.
Don't mention any more about that. We've got some picks coming up.
Okay.
But the next
The rumor is that you're going to get 2 new aspects in plastic this year. That's the rumor.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that, but I believe it.
Yeah, that's kind of frightening.
Damn.
Anyway, so next up we've got some of your models from the Barons War.
Yeah, these guys were a lot of fun. These guys were part of my pledge for 2022, a pledge I actually failed. But
Are those Raul Partha models?
Sorry,
Are those Raul Partha models?
Footsore.
Footsore miniatures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really nice sculpts. Yeah, part of my 2022 pledge was to paint all the miniatures necessary for the whole Death and Taxes campaign for Barons War. I'd acquired quite a few Barons War miniatures over the previous couple of years and just hadn't really gotten around to it. Even though I think the game's really fun and the figures are awesome. So I put a really good dent in it. I painted probably about 60 Barons War figures. It's just a million foot sergeants, of which you're seeing here, along with the tax cart. And they were kind of like a breather project where, I would paint something a little more intensive, and then I would knock out 4 sergeants in a couple of nights, and just, it was kind of fun. They're all idiosyncratic heraldry, and they're just cool. But I wasn't able to get all the miniatures I needed to complete the whole campaign, and I got a late start on acquiring some of the terrain I needed for it, so they kind of fell by the wayside, but I'm still pretty happy with my progress in 2022, and I'm giving myself the pin. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
It takes me back to like Bretonian days.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they're actual historicals though, so it's really getting to the roots of that, and they were just a lot of fun. The Footsore sculpt is so beautiful.
Yep. And it's switching over now to the kind of the wide shot of the modern terrain.
Yeah.
So you get to see
awesome.
all the wonderful minis there.
Yeah, that's everything I painted for the Barons War last year, plus some terrain, which is actually not in that picture. That table I inherited from a friend. Well, not inherited, he's not dead. He moved to England to work for Games Workshop. But
Is that Chris?
Chris Walton, yeah.
Excellent.
I was lucky enough to pillage all of his gaming tables when he moved from Seattle. But
Nice.
that's all the miniatures I painted for it last year. So it's the Sheriff of Nottingham, Philippe Mark, the actual Philippe Mark, with the banner is actually the Baron's banner from the '80s Robin of Sherwood show. So that's not historically accurate, but
Right.
it's that, and then a whole bunch of peasants and villagers and outlaws in the back with Robin Hood. So that's the Death and Taxes campaign is kind of the Sheriff of Nottingham versus Robin Hood defending a village. So that's everything plus a little to play the first scenario, but not everything you need to play the whole campaign. But those figures were great. I had a great time painting the villagers. I love painting civilians.
Yep.
They're super cool.
They look fantastic.
Yeah,
I assume they're all metal.
it's all metal.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, the tax card itself is resin, but everything else are metal figures.
Yep.
And I did brass spears for most of them.
Josh says he's trying to get Footsore to make a samurai riding a dinosaur. And
yeah.
and David just jumped on.
Hey, Dave.
Welcome.
Greetings. Josh, you might have better luck with Eureka. So check with Nick at Eureka down in Australia. They may already have a samurai riding a dinosaur. But, yes. No, I think this is really cool. I love seeing the Barons War stuff, and it's great to see them all all those models how they're painted like that.
It's a fun game too. I recommend it.
Yeah. Next photo I've got here is the Osgiliath set, the Lord of the Rings. What is it? Lord of the Rings. Oh no, Middle Earth strategy.
Middle Earth strategy
battle game. Yep. MESBG.
Yeah, that was kind of a last minute project. It was not part of my pledge or any of my plans. I had pre-ordered it back in September with expectation to get it whenever. It showed up in early December. I had just finished a couple other big projects, including a bunch of Barrens War terrain. And that was probably around December 15th, and I was like, I wonder if I can paint this whole set by the end of the year. And just kind of set out to do it, and I did, with hours to spare.
Simon, you know what? Go ahead and put yourself down for another pin.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those the great things where it was you at the start of the year you didn't know that was going to be released, but I see that like during the year you're like, I see that, I want it, and I want to finish it this year, so you jumped in and got it done. It looks looks fantastic.
All the Lord of the Rings minis are so great. Like,
yep.
I think out of all the stuff I've owned, I think the only thing I still own that's them is I have Samwise, the old plastic one who has like the frying pan.
Yep.
Oh, like out of the box. I have him, and I have somebody gave me the new Theoden mounted and on foot.
Right.
Nice. This is actually my first outing with that game ever.
Yep.
A buddy of mine in my gaming club, Buford, got us going into it. He's been into it for a few years himself, but this would be kind of a good stopping point to step in with it. And I had a blast painting them up. Part of the reason I was able to paint them so quick is because they are kind of smaller miniatures. They're a little less fiddly in detail than the mainline 40K stuff. So they paint up super fast. They look great. They'll take a kind of crude paint job like I gave them and still look cool on the tabletop. So pretty happy with that project.
Yeah, they definitely look great. And so you haven't played a game yet?
No, I played a couple games actually.
Okay.
I got a demo from my friend back in November, and then 2 weeks ago, my buddy Lars and I played the first two games in the Osgiliath set.
Okay.
Actually, he's coming over tonight. We're going to play at least the third, or maybe the third and fourth tonight.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that rule system. I think it's probably the most. I always say it's the most tactical rule set that GW's ever made.
It's a great set. I think my current favorite rule set from them is Adeptus Titanicus, but this is a very good game.
Yeah. But the strength of it, it's essentially the same system from 2001. It hasn't changed.
Yeah,
hasn't changed.
They've edited the way certain characters kind of work and stuff, but it's the same.
Yeah, minor tweaks, but the same approach. But no, it looks fantastic.
Thanks.
Excellent work there. And now's the time to talk about the Sons of Horus. So the first shot here I've got is your I think it might be your Tribune with the command squad. Is that right?
Oh, those are my chieftains.
Oh, your chieftains, right?
Yeah. That's a unit they introduced in a PDF this summer, shortly after the release of the new edition.
Right.
And the idea is that they're Sons of Horus gang leaders called chieftains who would otherwise be like officers. They'd probably be praetors or champions of some kind in and of themselves. But instead, the praetor praetor warlord, whatever company they're under, gathers them to himself as his personal retinue.
Okay.
So these guys, they have the company standard. They have to accompany your praetor, whoever your warlord is. They're going to be part of his retinue.
Okay.
And I played one game with them, and they are mean as hell. But this is my favorite part of that whole army because I did 3,500 points of Sons of Horus between July 19th and December 10th, I think.
All right. Nice.
And these guys were great. I used Mark IV and Mark V Marines. I really kit bashed. I did source pieces from all over to build these because they're very idiosyncratic. They've all got different armaments and guns and so forth. And it's one of my more complex hobby projects ever. I'm pretty happy with it. I wrote some setting material for my Sons of Horus army. They're the 86th Company, the Lords of Aeth. So if you look on the banner, you can see the 86 in Roman numerals, which I actually cut4 4 other Sons of Horus decals to get all of the characters to actually put 86 in Roman numerals, which was a lot of work. But I think
It's the L. It's the L.
While you were doing that, were you thinking, I should have just gone for 13? The 13
I thought about that. Well, actually, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned the L because the L actually I had to paint the lower serif on it because none of the GW decals for Roman numerals have an L.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So
fantastic.
Yeah, that was a cool project, and that's their dedicated Land Raider transport.
Yeah.
That's like I'm not gonna lie. I love the Sons of Horus paint scheme. I love that like sea green kind of like look that they have. It's just such a great color.
Yep, and
it's fun to paint.
The way it looks here with all those eyes are fantastic. They're Eye Horus there.
Yeah, those are all decals, of course. But
cool. But it's just everything works together really well. Yeah,
you applied them really well too. Like the decals don't look plasticky. Like
thanks, man.
Really well.
You know, I put them on. I use Microsol and Microset to really get them on there, and then I do my final weathering over the decals. That kind of marries them into the piece.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
That is a good-looking army. So you got a Spartan, you get a Spartan, a Land Raider, Proteus, a Kratos, 2 Contemptors, 2 Rhinos, your Chieftains, 2 tax squads. Are those guys on the right? Is that a tax squad or are those just spoilers?
On the right, those are a tactical support squad with Volkite chargers. On the left is a heavy support squad with heavy bolters.
Right on. And then you got a unit of Cataphracti.
Yep.
And then just two 20-man blobs of tax squads?
Yep, and then there's a few characters. I've got my Praetor in the very front. There's a Primus Medicae in with the Terminators, and a heavily kit-bashed Apothecary in with the tactical support squad with the Volkites.
Him on the far right. Yeah, those are great, man. That's a great looking army.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, no, it looks absolutely fantastic.
It's about 5 months of my life painting roughly, I'd say, probably an average of 2 hours of work a night most nights.
Nice.
Not every night, but more often than not.
You said how many points? How many points? 2,500.
3,500.
3,500.
Yeah. No, it looks absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah.
Dan Wood says it's the best game GW makes. Talking about Lord of the Rings. Sean Gleason says nice. And then Dan Wood said, sweet Lupercal. Dave Hummel says nice Sons of Horus. Brian Martin has joined us. Hi, Brian. He needs to keep up progress on his Iron Warriors.
He's doing good. He's doing good with his Warriors.
Cool. Excellent. No, they look fantastic there. I think what's going on there? Okay, so now we're going to have a look at some of the things that Jake painted this year.
This will be fast.
Okay, first up, I put them together. Put these first 2 together.
Whatever, dude.
So you have your Ukrainian Primaris Marine.
About to execute my Goblin running a pug.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. So.
Is that Moonstone?
For the eyes, I think I used it's the Necron one.
Oh no!
I meant
the game. Yep.
Oh yeah. That is. I think that is Moonstone. I backed the pledge just to unlock the pledge manager because I wanted that model.
Yeah, he's awesome.
We have a pug, my wife and I, and she's a little black one, so I painted his mount to look like Rhino.
He's like the Atreides battle pug from the 87 Dune.
Yeah,
dude, that is the best scene of Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart holding the pug and a gun, yelling "Long live Duke Leto," and then just like leading the charge. It's the best.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. Moving right along, we have
the Ukrainian. I actually did like a hand painted on the backpack, on the circle part of the backpack. I did a sunflower.
Oh, cool.
I did a hand painted sunflower with all the little dots.
I really like that scheme. I'll hopefully get on that Marine.
Yeah, the Ukrainian paint job is awesome. Right now I'm doing a for Marvel Crisis Protocol. I got it's Dark Star, Crimson Dynamo, Major Ursus, and Red Guardian, and I'm painting them all Ukrainian colors. So Red Guardian will be blue and gold. Dark Star, instead of being like purple and gold, she'll be navy and gold. But like I'm doing them all Ukrainian paint schemes. I just thought it was really funny. It's a great color combo. So
yeah, absolutely.
Very much.
This is my converted Blood Knights for my Vampire Counts army.
Yep.
Super cool.
These are they're Chaos Knight models, right?
The Chaos Knights with head swaps, and then it took forever to scrape all the Chaos markings off all of them.
Right.
All of their shields are just lousy with Chaos symbols.
Yeah.
So I scraped off every star, off all the horse plates, off all their armor plating, to the point that Ben was like, why don't you just like use different guys? And I was like, because I love these models. I'm not running this Chaos, so.
Yep.
I still got to base them. I haven't figured out what the basing in that army is going to look like, so.
You'll get there. You've got time. And your Flesh Terrors. Assault,
they're my
your
favorite.
Assault Intercessors.
Yeah, I got the first 10 done.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, they're some of my favorite. I wish my phone was better. These guys are like 4 different shades of red, and it just looks like red. So, they were actually. Thank you. They were actually really fun to do, and I've always wanted to do Flesh Eaters, and Flesh Eaters have the saw blade.
Yeah, you're right.
Flesh Eaters have the jaws.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wonder if I could do Flesh Eaters. So when the Indominus box came out, I like looked all over the internet and found a guy who, for whatever reason, decided to do 3D printed jaws at all different sizes. So I got shoulder pad ones. I've got big ones for the vehicles. I got big ones for all my Blade Guard veterans for their shields. I got a huge one for the banner. It was just really fun. And then I had to figure out how to differentiate the sergeant and all the officers from the Marines, because they're not one of those legions that like changes their helmet colors. So because they all have a stripe, so I was like, well, I can't just give him a stripe. But he was fun. So the sergeant, I put the transverse crest on, and his you can't see it from this angle, but his sword has like the hazard stripes on it.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
So he stands out a little bit more than the rest of the squad. But
I like the snow bases too.
yeah, I'm a sucker for snow bases, especially because they're such warm models. I wanted to do like a cool base with them. So
Are those?
Yeah, I need to do a new snow base project. I did one for some Kador years ago, but I'd like to do like a really big army with them. I just don't have the right project yet.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to do now. Like there's so many great like blues and grays. So I always paint the base one solid color, and then I'll put the if I want to have it on a great trick for ice too is once I put the blue down, I'll swirl it with another lighter blue, let that dry, and then paint it with gloss varnish. And then I put down snow everywhere else, so it looks like ice. There's like bits of ice poking out.
That's cool.
Nice. And
Super easy to do.
those tufts, are those the army painter?
Yeah, I think those are the Deadland ones or the Tundra ones. I don't remember which ones. They make so many of them.
Yeah.
What's your snow?
What's my what?
Which snow do you use?
That's the GW Valhalla Blizzard.
Yeah, that's good. I've been messing with Huge Miniatures. Their texture paste, their snow seems pretty good to me. I haven't used it yet, but I really like their mud and dirt. And I have the snow, I just haven't applied it yet, but it looks very promising to me.
Right.
I was really leery with the Citadel stuff. Like again, not that I had anything to put it against, but I was like, yeah, I don't know about this, and it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, Valhalla Blizzard's great.
You can like glump it up really deep, or you can make it super thin, and it's really fun. It's a fun thing to wear. And when it dries, it looks like snow. It looks real.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, your stuff looks great. The thing I want to do with snow base is I'd love to do the ice effect that uses the powdered glass, but it scares me.
Right.
Yeah, especially because you have to wear a mask too. You can't breathe.
Yeah, I'm terrified of it. So one of these days I'll probably make the plunge. But yeah, your snow bases are awesome. I love them.
Just
Thank you.
practice holding your breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it out there. I've done it before. I've used that for my ogres. So
yeah.
But,
Put a fan right in front of you and do it like this.
blowing the
Yeah.
extra fan away.
Blow everything
No,
away.
you don't. You don't want to be blowing that anywhere. That's
No.
You want the air as still as possible. Just quickly, David Hummel says, I still haven't started on my Heresy army yet. That's cool. You've been painting Marines anyway. That's cool. Brian says, howdy all. Kate says, hi guys, glad I could make it. Hey Kate. Jim says, if Blood Angels are painted red, does that mean they move faster?
That only orcs think they move faster.
Right. But Dave Humble says only their vehicles do.
I mean, they're Blood Angels anyway, so technically they are faster.
Right.
I mean, they do have the fastest Predator in 40K.
True.
Yeah. This is true.
And I missed overcharged engines. You're like, I'm gonna overcharge all of my Rhino chassis vehicles.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, all of your Rhino chassis. I'm like, anything that's built on a Rhino.
Nice. Radio. So that's Jake said it'd be quick because that's what Jake painted last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a bunch of other stuff, but it was all commission work, so it's not mine. So I didn't want to like I have some photos of it, but you know.
Sure.
So I said to him earlier today when he sent through these photos, I said, dude, you got to carve out some more time this coming year. Paint stuff for yourself. So,
Right.
As you said, you've got like 10 weeks till Adepticon, so I'm looking forward to seeing that 2,000-point Iron Warriors army.
It should be okay. If I got 10 weeks, I got to paint 10 things. I'm painting.
This is the great thing about the army. It's
My 2K list is 7 tanks, seven tanks, and 3 dreadnoughts.
Well, that's not bad. I've had tanks paint up so fast.
The tanks should be okay. I still have to build them all though. I have to build everything, and the thing I'm dreading is I have 2 Leviathans and a Dorado, and they're all resin.
Oh.
And the Dorado's guns are like this. Like they are not straight. I was like, oh god, I got to do that whole cold and hot water and temper them, and I don't want to. That's gonna suck.
I did one of those for a friend a few years back, and I did not have a good time with it. So I'm happy to see. Hope it will be in plastic before long.
Yeah, if it comes out, I'm saving it for last.
I'm just saying, replace them immediately with some plastic tubing. Replace all those barrels with plastic tubing.
Maybe.
But no, none of this maybe.
I'm saving the Dorado for last. If the plastic one comes out before I get to it, I'm just gonna buy a plastic one.
Yeah, that's fair. I see. I always tackle the worst thing first, but yeah, you're trying to wait it out, and I respect that.
Yeah, because it's just going to straighten in the box while you're waiting.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, don't ask me the show before Adepticon. Ask me the episode the week before that. Then I can send you some plastic tubing.
Sweet, thanks, buddy.
If need be. Cool. So we've got a couple of things. I wanted to throw in this. So this is some of the stuff I painted recently. I finally got around to painting up the Kratos.
Dude, that thing is awesome.
It's beautiful, dude.
Picked it up when it was released, and we had those wonderful discussions in July about what gun we should put on it. Because I very early said I don't want to magnetize this because I invariably lose the other parts.
Yeah.
Uh,
and then you just get stuck with the gun that you didn't lose.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that the
for the main battle cannon, I think you picked right. That cannon, I think, is the best impact for this vehicle because you have,
too.
Yeah, and you have because of the rule with the Kratos where it has the coax auto cannon, you fire ranging shots with that, and as long as you hit, you can reroll misses with the cannon, which is insane.
Yep. No, it should be good, and I'm happy that I went with the Volkites on the rest of it.
Yeah.
So
they're awesome.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
I just saw a picture on Facebook today from Chris Walton where he had he's painting up his Kratos for Iron Warriors, and he went for the Volkite as the main gun as well as Volkites for the rest of it. So I'm very interested to see how it works for him.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. How did you? I was thinking doing something similar to the paint job where I was going to paint.
Oh. No.
Simon froze.
No. Come back, Simon.
He will. He'll restart.
Yep.
Well, hey, while I got you here, Dave.
Yep.
Are you playing Loyalists?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. Okay. So I was like, because this is a very clean paint job. There's no I mean, it's a little rusty because it should be. It's Death Guard. They don't care as long as their stuff works. But I was like, oh, I like that it's really clean and You know, it's that nice that cream color and that the green that they have. I love that paint scheme. It is so great.
Yeah, yeah. I just want. I've always liked the idea of the Loyalist Death Guard. I'm sure there weren't never that many of them, but yeah, I just wanted to go with something clean. One of the things that was a little bit disappointing though, after I chose Loyalist Death Guard, was that reading that like Death Guard don't really decorate their armor.
Yeah,
they don't really go in for all that sort of detailing. So it's like there are a lot of panels there that I'd love to do some stuff with, but
well, you can
Guard,
still
so
do
keep it simple.
you can still do like unit markings and vehicle numbers and stuff like that. Like there's stuff like that. Like they still follow like the code. It's not codex, but they still follow like the military doctrine of numbering stuff.
Not all the time. Not all the time. There's a lot of it that's just like whatever.
But like you said, if you're looking to decorate some of those panels,
yep,
you could definitely do that.
Exactly. So sorry about this. We've lost Simon. He has blue screen of death.
Oh, here we go.
And he's back. But now you might have me on the main screen. Frightening.
Yeah, you're there.
Oh no, there we go. Great.
Sorry, my computer blue screen. I don't know what happened. That has never happened here before. So
That's okay. That's okay. But you had a question.
We filled time. We filled time. So.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry about that. So where was I? I was asking about your Kratos. I was planning to paint mine, or my next one. Similar, where you painted green along the sides of the tracks. I'll be doing black.
Okay.
How did you mask that off? What was your order of operations on that? Because I got overwhelmed. Was just like I'm just going to paint the thing green and do the turret black.
Yeah, I must admit I hadn't decided where I was going to paint the green. I knew I was going to put it on there, but I didn't know where I was going to put it. So it was essentially fully assembled. The turret is separate, but everything else was assembled. And I did primed it black, sprayed it with the P3 Bastion Gray. Table somewhere, but you won't be able to see it because I'm not on the screen. And then sprayed it with Corax White primer, the not as bright as White Scar primer from GW. That's my base coat for all of my Death Guard stuff. And then I was initially going to do a stripe across it, so I was going to pick out one of those areas that comes up from the side and goes over the track. But then I just decided it's going to be simple to go in and paint it this way. So I just hand painted all of that.
Oh, it's all hand painted then?
Yeah. So that is a base of Lauren Forest from GW mixed with coal black from P3 as the base coat, and then highlighted up with Lauren Forest and like ivory.
In terms of order operations, Simon, my advice would be I always try to paint inside out. So I would do those little inside panels first, and then I would then go back and do all the overlapping armor pieces, just because I think it'd be easier to try to paint those edges on the.
I agree. I would just want to do it by airbrush, so I'm trying to. And I hate masking, so I was hoping maybe there was a trick to it, but obviously the trick is to not airbrush it.
Well, if you're thinking I would disagree with you here, Jake. I do all of your airbrush work with your green on the external panels.
Right.
If that's where you're going to put the green, and then the black, paint the black into those sections.
Yeah, that's probably wise. Did you do the same hand brushing on the stripe on the turret?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sharp. Oh, nice work.
Thank you.
Yeah, all your lenses and glacis plates look awesome too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I'm super happy with it.
Beautiful.
Worked out well. Okay, next up, I wanted to show these. I can't remember if I mentioned it on the show before, but back on April 1st, when GW showed their the squats / Votan teaser, that night I happened to be talking to a bunch of friends on a Zoom call. They were doing some painting and some drinking, And I was incredibly adamant that there was no way that GW was doing plastic squats. And to the point where somebody who was also adamant that they were doing it, because why would they have spent so much on the animation? It was like, they would do that like in a heartbeat. The rest of that animation could be used for anything else. It was just the last bit that they'd tack in there. I said, well, if they do end up doing them, dude, I will paint you a squad of whatever they are. And of course, the very next day, GW said, oh no, we were serious.
Yeah.
And I was like, son of a bitch. So I painted up, he wanted a unit of these, the Ironhead Prospectors for Necromunda. So I painted these up, and he got these as a Secret Santa
Awesome.
gift.
Dude, they're awesome. Like, technically, these are the only squats.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only the squat prospectors. The Leagues of Otan, strictly speaking, are not.
Yeah.
That's squats.
But these are squats. They did make squats. So
Yeah, exactly. But
paint scheme is like, it reminds me of the Saturday morning cartoon Brave Star.
okay.
That's the paint scheme it looks like.
I really wanted to go for the X-wing pilot kind of look.
Oh yeah, sure.
See that too?
So all of their undersuits are orange and their armor plating is white. Then there's like a leather duster sort of color for the coats.
Those are great. Those are great models. I like the guy in the back on the back right who has like the double barrel 50 cal. He's just about
Yeah.
bullet hose down everybody near him. Like, that thing's awesome.
Yeah, he is pretty fierce. But those models are
fun
super
skulls.
cool. Very happy with those. But yeah, so the rest of these are some of the Votan, and we've talked about the Votan on the show before last year. And I went through and painted a bunch of them, so we'll just sort of zip through these fairly quickly. First up are a couple of HQs. There's the Einherjar Champion and the Carl,
Very cool.
which is neat.
That's awesome. Those models are insane. The guy on the left, that model, he looks so big. You're like, how does he move? Like, I don't understand the arm function. Like,
It is ridiculous. Like how much stuff is just taped onto him. It's massive.
yeah, like like he's so big. I'm like, how does he do anything?
It is ridiculous. And having those
turquoise
two,
you got going.
big
what?
canisters out the back, the power canisters or whatever.
Yeah,
It's pretty.
the model is so cool. Like, you can see so many movies from the last couple of years, because like he has the tubes on his back like Rictus from Mad Max,
Right. Yep.
and then, he's got Thor's hammer, and then he's wearing like Space Marine armor with like stuff on top of it. He's like the Tony Stark Hulkbuster armor,
Yep.
with his little head sticking out the top. Like, it's insane.
I'm sure that Hulkbuster armor definitely played in the what do you call it?
Like the design
The
process.
inspiration for it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, for sure. Just quickly, I'm going to switch back to the screen with me on it, and I'm going to hold up to the camera. This is another conversion I'm doing. So they can't actually have concussion hammers for the
Oh,
Carls.
sweet.
And the arm has come
Yeah.
loose there. But yeah, this is my high Carl. So I'm going to mess around with that. So I'm just going to use that as a concussion gauntlet.
That's rad.
But she's going to be kicking some butt once I get that sorted. Once I get the conversion finished and her painted up.
You're like, it's Khaleesi. She's about to like just smash everybody.
No. Going back to it. Here we go. There's a unit of the Hearthkin Warriors, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
I picked out the guy with the gauntlet, the leader with the gauntlet, which is pretty cool. I put a medic in each unit, and on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the dude with the knife.
Mm-hmm.
So all of my medics have that knife, and they have.
And if I remember correctly, right? So that the guy that's over the left shoulder of the leader, that's one of the Ironkin, right?
Yep, that's right.
Awesome.
Yep.
I love that whole all the lore in the book about that, about how like they're part of the clan, like that. That's like the coolest thing.
Yep. One of the so in pretty much all of the boxes, there's one Ironkin head, so you can, if you build it that way, you can put one in each of your units. But basically
cool.
that head will fit onto each of the different models, so you could probably end up with a whole squad of Ironkin if you wanted to.
Oh, nice.
Taro Model Maker, so James Taro from the UK. Guy does a lot of fantastic conversion bits. He has done a range of Ironkin heads that you can pick up if you wanted to do a whole like squads and squads of Ironkin.
Super cool.
So
I like the regular guys. I like they're like they have the shoulder harnesses and then like the inset helmets that you can open, so they have the masks as well.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the what is it? The Space Marine Inceptors, like with their like they have
the blast shields.
It's because it's really similar. Like I like that whole look. That it just looks really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like to do some of these guys. I think I might do a little squad for like boarding actions. 'Cause I don't have time or the need for another army right now. But looking at these, I'm like, man, I want to paint some space dwarves.
Boarding actions. The rules for that. It's awesome. It is
It seems fun.
Yep. Definitely. So moving right along, these are my Einherjar Hearthguard. So these are the unit version of that big beefy champion.
Nice.
So they have a little grenade launcher on their shoulder, over their shoulder, which is pretty sweet. These are the guys that had the. They usually have the blades on the gauntlet, sort of sticking out like a punch dagger kind of thing.
Oh right, and you cut them off with swords. Yeah.
I
That's cool.
replaced them with regular swords because I thought those looked cooler. I liked them a little bit better. But yeah, these were a lot of fun. Mess around with. Next up. Oh.
They're rules wise, they're basically Space Marines, right? They have like a 3-up save.
Yeah, I think so. Not 100% sure, but I'll check it while you're looking at the next picture, which are the Berserkers, the Chthonian Berserks. Quick quiz for you, Simon.
Those are awesome.
Did you know that Chthonian or Chthonic is to do with
It just means subterranean.
Subterranean, yeah.
Of course, I knew you would
know that.
I knew you would know that.
I've read a lot of weird books in my time. Yeah.
Just quickly looking up those other guys. They are, strength 5, toughness 5, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, 2+ save.
Oh, so they're Terminators. Okay.
Yeah.
That's mean.
Bearer's unit. Oh, and so I have the Weave Field crest on the leader. In addition, the bearer increases its wound characteristics to 3 and has a 4+ invulnerable save. So the leader of that unit has a 2+, 4+ with 3 wounds.
Nice.
So pretty nice. So yeah, so they're in between the Marine and a Terminator.
Yeah.
But yeah, these ones were fun. So the model in the middle usually is the one that you can build with the mortar, the mole mortar kind of equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make sure that I had somebody in there with the twin gauntlets because they're really quite good in the game. But of course, I didn't read all the way through the instructions because if I had done that, I would have found that there was one model that they fit on perfectly. And of course, he was the first guy that I built, and I built him with a hammer because I was super excited to build somebody with a hammer. It's the first one on the list. Okay, cool. I built him like that. And then when I got to the end, it was like, oh, okay. She gets the gauntlets. So there's a bunch of green stuff going on there to make that work.
Nice. Yeah,
This is cool.
Yep.
too. So you get some feedback. So talking about the vehicles, Sean said he loves the tank. David said he's working on stuff, but all of his stuff is currently packed up.
Oh.
Dan Wood said that by being loyalist Death Guard, you are a traitor to the War Master, which I guess works.
Yes.
you do campaign markings or campaign honors, but like you said, they don't really decorate their tanks. Dan Wood said about your squats that they're very Raynor from StarCraft, who are like the good guy. They do have kind of that vibe.
Yeah.
But Dave said, but more dwarfy with swords.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, these things are great too.
Yeah, those are such fun models.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first saw them, I thought, when GW first announced them, I was like, these are kind of goofy. But having painted them, it's like, these are actually really sweet.
Yeah. They're super cool.
Yeah.
Looking at them really quick, it looks like the yellow headlight. My brain wants to see a yellow smiley face sticker on the front.
Awesome.
Like they run you over on the back. It says "Have a nice day."
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the second squad, I'll paint them like that for you.
Nice.
Then there are these guys, the Thunderkin, the Brockia Thunderkin, which are the basically the guys carrying the heavy weapons. They're in the Exo frame.
Oh my god! Yeah, these are the guys from Exo Squad. I love the ridiculousness of being on what is essentially to them a 6-foot stirrup.
A 6-inch.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You're on like a 6-inch like stirrup just because. I was like, what? It's so weird. Like I love it, but it's insane.
Yeah.
They just wanted to be like to come in around 5'9".
Yeah.
But yeah, these models are really cool. But these ones are ones I've probably found the most difficult to paint because there are a lot of tubes that connect them on the back, and to get everything connected, you've got to glue almost everything together. I didn't glue the heads in, and I didn't glue the guns on.
Yeah, I was just saying the guns is the big thing. As long as I didn't glue the hands on, I feel like they'd be okay to paint.
There's a lot of frame pieces that you've got to try and get in and around. So sadly, not quite as easy as they look like they should be. But
there's only 3 of them.
Once they're done, though, they're sweet looking models.
Yeah, and the other thing that's great about them is they have like the chest bar.
Yeah.
So it's literally like they park it somewhere. They're like, oh, let me get out of this machine.
Yeah.
Like they just step. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's exactly like that. It's great. I love it.
Awesome.
You guys mind if I park my thing right next to your Imperial? Let me walk up here. Okay, cool. I see you got your name. Let me. Oh, much better. All right, let me come inside and get a beer.
Yep.
That's so dope.
Yep.
That thing is awesome.
Scott has just joined us. Oh snap! Forgot about this. Sorry, I'm late. That's okay, Scott. First episode back after the new year. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome back, buddy.
This is my boomstick. Yes, indeed.
Dude, Herkimer Battle Jitney. This thing's the best.
Yep. Hecaton Land Fortress. Super cool. And it was nice to be able to like the color scheme that I've used throughout the whole force. That jade green and the white armor was taken from a Toyota CHR. I think they're called.
HRV.
No,
CRV?
No, that's a Honda CRV. But no, it's the Toyota. I'm pretty sure it's a CHR. So it's a smaller one that I saw locally, which had this same jade green paint job on the body, and the top was white.
Okay.
And it was really nice to be able to finally to get that out on a vehicle. I'm going to have a lot of fun with the Sagittars when they finally come back in stock, and I can buy 2 of those.
That's cool.
We finally just sold our last 2. Some guy called me and was like, hey, your website says you have these. Do you actually have them? I was like, yeah. He's like, how many do you have? I was like, I have 2. He's like, can I buy both of them? I was like, sure. He's like, hold them for me. I'm on my way. I was like, where are you coming from? He's like, I'm coming from Southern Maine. So he drove like almost 2.5 hours to get to my store.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. No, he drove almost 3.5 hours to get to my store and bought both of them. He was like psyched. I was like, yeah, no problem, man.
That's awesome. Yep.
Yeah, it's such a cool vehicle. Again, they did such a good job of like tying in all the design elements. Yep. So you've got like the globe turrets on the side.
Yeah.
That have the same layout as like the masks.
Yep.
And like the panels and all the tubing. The tubing is nuts.
Yep. The roll cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Oh, it's the best. It's so cool. I love the canopy too on the cockpit.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that it was like the canopy was like just a bubble of plastic, and then you were putting the cage over the bubble.
Yeah, no, sadly not.
You have to paint all the ridges. Oh man.
Yeah, it was very interesting to go through and do that. So what I did initially was I actually put a thin wash over the whole thing. Like I thinned down a paint, like I think it's with like burnt orange. I'm holding this up to the camera, but you're not able to see it. Like a burnt orange from Pro Acryl. Just thin that down and put it as a wash over the whole thing, knowing that I was going to have that orange dust in the edges. And then while it was still wet, I went and wiped off the center of each panel.
Oh, nice.
Each glass panel, and then that gave me a little bit of bite on those struts to paint those in the dark gray.
You can see a little bit. They look like they're a little yellowish, but I guess it's orange because of the light.
Oh, that's cool. That's a great idea.
It's a super cool effect.
So
I
think another thing you'd be able to do would be to spray it with a matte varnish.
Yeah, that's what I usually do.
Then paint it, and then paint each of the glass panels with a gloss varnish again.
Dude, matte varnish is such a cool trick. Like I remember when Simon doesn't know, but you do. Like Adam Pratt is a good buddy of ours, another XGW guy and a great painter. I remember when they made they're the 3 Nurgle Plague Marines, but they were stamped in green plastic as part of the like start painting thing.
Yep.
So they come the right color. So Adam built them all, and he was like, "Oh man, they're such a great color." And I was like, "Just matte varnish them." So he matte varnished the models, and then did all of his washes and stuff, and they look like $1 million. Like matte varnish is such a cool tool. Like you can do so many cool things with it. Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna make stuff for this thing on the back. It has the little like clamp, and it has like the train rest. I wonder if they're gonna make like a whole.
I so hope they do.
I mean. I feel like it's definitely the wrong size for like the Cargo 8.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is for that. I bet you it's going to be like artillery pieces, small artillery pieces.
Yeah, it could be like the squat land train, right?
Yeah, you've got to have that.
You're the best. Like you can carry multiple. So there's like you can carry like a troop carrier. You can carry a mobile artillery piece. You can carry like that'd be awesome.
That's super cool.
It would be cool.
I love the design of this truck though. Cause it really has that kind of like 80s anime look to it, like not modern anime, but that very like 80s kind of Macross.
It looks like cross between. It's a cross between the. It has a little Macross vibe to it, but it has like Master Blaster from Nintendo.
Yeah, it's got that too.
It has the game Master Blaster, and it was this crazy space age truck with giant monster tires and a gun on it, and then it has like the Mako from Mass Effect like mashed together.
Yeah, sure. Little Dominion tank police in there too, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's such a great vehicle.
Dave Humble says those wheels look almost too small for that. They do.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the fun. The rear tires are larger than the front 2 sets of tires as well.
Slightly.
Ever so slightly. Making it incredibly awkward for tire changes. Brian says, which came first, Tau Railtech or Votan Railtech? If you read the background in the Leagues of Votan book, you will find out that it is Votan Railtech, and they sell a subpar version of that to the Tau.
Keep the good stuff.
Josh says there's also Liquid Mask that you could use. He used it on his old tanks. If they don't make something, there's a dude named Dave that does amazing conversions. Don't tempt me, Josh. I have been thinking about some stuff already, but yeah, nice. Okay, so I'm super psyched. Thanks very much for indulging me, everybody, and showing you. Let me show you my Leagues of Votan stuff that I finished off. Actually, this one I finished off first and 2nd of January, so a week ago.
Nice. Start to the year.
Things are awesome.
Yep. Now we're going to take a look at some stuff from the group. We've got a whole bunch of fun models that people have been painting, and we have a couple in here. I think I mentioned before that we have repurposed from the Brush Wielders Union group.
Oh, sure.
So first up, we have some models from Betsy Bowers. So Betsy, sorry, I was just distracted by Brian's comment, for the greater secondhand good.
Yeah.
Yes. So Betsy has been painting up some models from the I think it's Call to Arms.
Yep. That's the Elder Scrolls skirmish game.
Yep.
Yeah, she did some great stuff in 2022. Those things are very cool.
Yep. Yep.
That's part of her pledge.
Yep. So they look absolutely awesome. And the next one is a Betsy special. It is all the models from the Lord of the Rings. What's it? Journey of the Ring, something like that.
Yeah, the board game.
Board game.
Yeah, it's a cool set.
Yeah,
they really nailed it.
absolutely.
Is that the Fantasy Flight one?
Cool Mini, I think.
Does Cool Mini do this? I don't think so.
Is it?
I could be wrong.
I think that Fantasy Flight has a adventures game called Journeys in Middle Earth, and it's really, really good.
Really.
I don't know if that's the right.
Yeah, that's it. Journeys in Middle Earth.
Okay,
Yep.
I think that's them. That looks like them.
Yep.
Yeah, because of the Balrog. I recognize the Balrog model.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought Betsy did a really phenomenal job on this set.
Yeah.
That's really stuff to be
Awesome.
proud of.
Scott says, "Damn it, Jake! The NES classic is Blaster Master. Master Blaster
right.
runs Bartertown. It's Dave's national
That's
job
right.
to correct all Mad Max corrections. Embargo on." I'm sorry, I couldn't correct that because I'm not aware of the Blaster Master. So I didn't know that it was an error. I thought it was just a shameless theft from Mad Max.
The Journeys in Middle Earth game is really cool. If anybody ever played like it's similar to Imperial Assault or Descent. It's like it's a procedurally generated, or it is a randomly generated encounter system game.
Yeah.
It's really fun, and this one has I think 3 expansions now. But it's awesome. It's super fun.
Very cool.
And the minis are really nice.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Chris Gorka, who over Christmas painted up 3 different squads of Mandalorians, including this one.
Yeah.
For Star Wars Legion.
Nice.
And I'm not sure if you've seen much of Chris's work before, Simon, but his standard MO is to go with fairly subtle, subdued, desaturated colors.
Yeah.
And then an incredibly bright, vibrant pop of color somewhere on the model. So obviously that's the
That was
red
very cool.
for these.
Yeah.
They do look great.
That's very dramatic.
He painted a cute little goat in the left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Excellent. I think it might be an antelope. I'm not sure. Speaking of Iron Warriors and Horus Heresy, next up we've got models from Cliff Edders.
Nice.
Yep. So Cliff has been working on his Apothecarian detachment. And this is when I saw these, it was like, I'm so glad that I'm not an Iron Warrior.
Yeah.
Because those blades and needles are like, no, that's designed to take it, like just to collect Eugene seed afterwards.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Not a lot of healing happening.
Yeah, there's no healing.
That's all the Apothecarian for the Iron Warriors does.
Yep, collects the gene seed.
Yeah.
But those look absolutely brutal,
They're beautiful.
and I'm very excited.
Great hazard stripes.
Yep. Yep.
I liked his gold. Cliff said that's that tinny tin that you always use.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that is nice.
Tinny Tin's a great color from Vallejo. It's the what did it used to be called? What was the GW color?
Tin bits.
Tin bits.
Bits.
There we go. Thank you.
Tin bits.
Yeah. But I got to admit, recently I've been using bronze. I'm going to hold it up again. Curses. Bronze from the Pro Aqua range.
For those of you watching at home, Dave continually holds up a pot of paint that only Simon and I can see.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing a great job. It's right in front of the camera.
It's well framed. It's very beautiful. Yeah. It's a nice shot. You can see Dave's face at the same time.
Yeah, pretty good.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
You're really missing out, is what we're saying here.
Yeah. One of my favorite colors right now to use, and I used it a little on the Blood Knights I did, is Army Painter makes a it's called Rough Iron.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I'll paint stuff black and then dry brush it with rough iron, and it looks like cast iron. It has flecks of like bronze and copper, and
Nice.
it's awesome. It's such a cool color.
That's cool.
I'm going to hold up another paint to the...
Yeah, he's holding up a rough iron hair.
Here.
It's a picture. It's an actual visual representation of what I was just talking about.
Yep.
It would be great if you could see it.
Moving along, the next one. So this is one repurposed from the Brush Wielders Union. I think this is Dan Paddock and his Necrons.
Necrons, yeah. Dan did a really great job. I think that may have been his first effort in 40K was this past year.
Oh, cool.
I think I could be wrong, so Dan, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but I think he said he painted those as part of one of the Conquest magazine sets.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he told me he learned a lot of new techniques, and I think it's a really, really fabulous looking Necron army. So he did a great job as part of his 2022 pledge.
Yeah, they do
Definitely earned his pin.
look absolutely awesome.
Yeah, that green's so vibrant. I love it.
Yeah.
Very classic Necrons.
Yeah, I love the blades on the I think the Scorpec destroyers. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, real pop of green there.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, I got my favorite thing about Necrons. Not that I've ever done a Necron, is I love the scarabs. That's what always gets me. I'm like, maybe I should do a Necron army.
Right. Just hordes of those things.
I think
bugs. Yeah.
my favorite thing in the line right now is probably the big Scorpec Destroyer Lord. He just
All right.
he looks awesome. This giant three-legged monster. Like,
Yeah.
such a great model.
I like how they kind of like softly reimagined the Necrons a couple of years ago. Like it's really made that line very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we have some Necromunda from Jeff Smith. So Jeff painted towards the end of the year. Jeff painted up some stuff for a friend of his in Arizona,
These are great.
including I can never remember her name, but one of the
Scruciator or something like that. Here's her title.
possibly yeah. But
I know the character too.
the fantastic enforcer characters, and that dog looks great as well.
Yeah,
That yellow is beautiful.
that Cyber Mastiff is great. I like the almost Decepticons logo that they have.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
But beautiful work there, and Jeff also painted up, I think, one of your favorite models, Jake, the Zote.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the Zote looks so good.
Yep, Zote from the Blackstone Fortress set.
Yeah.
Such
That's awesome.
Yeah, he did a great job on it. Like you can see, it looks like a green hippopotamus. Like,
Yeah.
he's all like scaly. You can see all the layers and like all the skin and stuff. Like, the Zote, the Zote never got enough love. And you can't even get him anymore.
No, not unless you're willing to spend buku bucks on eBay.
I don't understand why GW was like, hey, we made all these models for this great board game. Let's stop making them. I was like, what? Blackstone Fortress is a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Every single expansion they put out is amazing.
The models are just beautiful, top to bottom for that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
But Jeff's done a beautiful job here, and I love the red sort of that translucent sort of casing on his on the belly there.
Oh, it's beautiful. That like reflective bit on the top. It's stunning work.
Yep.
Great work, Jeff. He knows it. Jeff knows.
Yeah, this is true. Just look at the chat. Scott says Blaster Master is a rad game. Anyone know if a vehicle in that has a 3D print out of their purchase? Probably does.
I bet you could find someone who could do it.
Yep.
I mean, it's an 8-bit vehicle, so it probably doesn't look great. But
Dave Hummel says the Jaws of Life model apothecary reductor. So yeah, let's just get in there and push your rib cage open. Scott says, I like that Necron army. In my opinion, Necron range is the greatest. Less is more range out there. People stick to the base color and use the weapons and eyes for a pop of color. So good.
yeah,
Ryan's talking about the Cyber Mastiff, the most metal of good boys. Metal! And Josh talking about the Zote says that the sculpt makes it look deceptively light on its feet. It does. It's almost dancing forward.
Yeah.
But yeah. Scott says great work. The Blackstone characters should get a box set. They did. It was called Blackstone Fortress. Had a lot of cardboard with it. A lot of expensive cardboard.
Scott's right. They should do kind of like what they did for the Curse City box, where you could just buy the pieces.
Yep.
They should just do that, because the whole argument, I guess, for it is that Games Workshop has all like the cardstock stuff is printed in China, which is why it's such a pain in the ass to get everything. But they print all the models in Nottingham. They could easily throw all those in a white box.
Yep. They could.
Just stick them on. Hey, here's all the Blackstone dudes. You're like, cool. Give me all of those.
Yep. It would be awesome if they could do that.
Yeah, that Kroot like sniper guy. He's super cool.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Oh, all those models are great.
Absolutely.
Man of Iron.
Yeah.
You could stick him. You could stick him in a Votan army. He's an Ironkin.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Now that you mention that, I'm gonna go looking for him. I've got him just sitting over there.
He's awesome.
Next up, we've got this is from Christian Simonson, one of the models that he painted in 2022. The Demon Prince, Chaos Demon Prince, with some spectacular red underlighting.
It's just incredible. Yeah.
It literally looks like there's a red light under him.
Yeah.
Like he is underlit perfectly.
I'm an absolute sucker for red underlighting on a mini.
Yeah.
That is like a metal album.
It is.
No, it's truly it's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you've had a look in the group at all, Simon. If you scroll back and check out some of Christian's posts, he's got he's working on the Sons of Horus army as well.
Cool.
We're doing them in a very very grimdark style. But yeah, definitely checking it out.
Right on.
Christian stuff has like a little bit of Blanchitsu to it, just a little. It's not like a lot of the Blanchitsu stuff gets super like just I think like out of frame almost. But his stuff is great. It's just a little bit for like his lighting effects and some of his touches.
Yeah, that's cool.
Look, absolutely awesome. Next up, we have a bust from Mike Hughes. Painted this up. He did mention the sculptor on the post in the group. I can't remember the name of the sculptor, but yeah, this piece looks really rad. I love the texture on the face and the way that he's painted that, accentuated that.
He looks like he's trick or treating.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. I love him.
But yeah, I love the look of this.
He's upset because right now, like, he just told like whoever's house he was at that he has a gluten allergy, and they're like, we don't have anything else.
Right.
That's that look right there.
It's wheat products all the way.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that looks great. Excellent work there, Mike.
That's awesome.
You definitely want to speak to a manager.
Yeah. I would like to return this pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yep. Scott says, "Hoo-wee! It looks like people took some time around the holidays to turn out some quality. Nice work on that demon." Yep, absolutely, Scott. Dave Hummel says, "Give me candy or else."
Yeah.
100%. What do you mean you're out of Kit Kats?
Yep. Next up from Pete Hairston, we have his Janisha Kroll. So the head of the Sisters of Silence,
Very cool.
or at least the highest ranking one that we'll take to the field.
I like the way he did her. I like the way he did her armor. Like, she looks like a pewter miniature.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like her armor looks like it's metal. Like that's cool. I like that.
It does look super solid. It's got that great dark
Severe.
iron kind of look. Yeah. Did you say severe, Simon?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely got that severe sort of aspect to it. I love it. I don't think I'd it's one of those things where when I saw this model, it was like, I don't think I've actually ever seen the Janisha Kroll model. I've seen people use proxies, but I hadn't seen the original one. But she does look fantastic.
Yeah, she's obviously a 4-year-old model.
Yeah, definitely makes me want to get some Sisters of Silence in my force.
That's cool.
But speaking of people working on things that they got for Christmas, this is a Night Goblin by Scott Radham.
Oh yeah.
Just quickly.
Yeah, he's.
Yep. So beautiful stuff here. Scott's been doing a lot of excellent NMM work. So continuing messing around with that on that the armor.
His snout bassinet mask.
Oh,
It all I can think of is Time Bandits.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's all I can think of.
Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely. And I do love that the shield from this angle looks a bit like a banana.
Yeah.
But no, Scott's done an awesome job here, and those tiny checks around the base of the lance there. Yep.
That's awesome.
The helmet is off on that goblin. It says. Yeah. So a little bit awkward, but no, I think looks great, Scott. Yeah, looking forward to seeing the rest of the minis in the future. And we also have we saw Sean earlier in the chat. So we have some minis that Sean painted up at the end of the year. A couple of cool chibi minis, but I couldn't tell you where they're from.
Those are fun.
That looks like that's supposed to be Warduke and Strongheart as chibi like figures.
Okay.
It's Warduke and Strongheart from Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
But I have no idea where they're from. I don't know.
You have no idea who makes the minis?
Not the chibi ones, no.
Impact. There we go. Impact minis. So yeah,
Nice.
Impact have a big range of chibi and My Little Pony kind of style minis.
Dude,
but yeah,
That's cool. I like the building they're standing on or whatever too.
well, I think that's on one of Sean's Age of Sigmar buildings.
Oh, that's the thing behind them. That's the Astrolabe.
Oh yeah, I see.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like they're on the platform behind it because normally it would be turned towards the
Right.
on
Okay.
it. So
Yep.
Yeah. No, cool.
I think it's like the Celestial Astrolabe or something like that.
Right.
Yep.
Excellent. Sean says I picked them up at Gen Con.
Oh, I know the guys he got them from. Yeah, there's this little tiny booth. It's a 10 by 10.
Yep.
And they have plexi cabinets just full of chibi like miniatures.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're usually at
Very
Adepticon
cool.
as well, so you might see them in there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
I picked up one of their minis for my wife. It's like a guy riding an octopus.
Okay.
It's all
Nice.
chibi.
Yeah. I think I've seen
Oh,
that
I've
one.
seen that before. Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
I always buy like weird. I always buy like weird models to paint for my wife, like the goblin riding the pug and like all that stuff.
Yeah,
And I get a lot of this. Oh, thanks.
Awesome. Dave Humble says, sigh. I want to paint and build now, but must finish packing stuff for the move.
Oh no.
Fantastic. Well, I'm excited to hear more about your move, Dave, in the coming weeks. So things go smoothly. Just think of all the inspiration that will have built up by the time you get there and can unpack.
To quote Patrick Stewart, moods are a thing for love, and was it swordplay?
No,
Love playing cattle.
Yeah, I'm packing this for the crossing. Oh, so good.
yep. That's just so we will just switch on from there. Again, beautiful work there, Sean. Yeah, when you mentioned that, gonna go back to talking about things.
Patrick Stewart again?
No,
Awesome.
not
Okay.
Patrick Stewart, but how you're talking about mood. People often will use it as an excuse, saying, "I'm not in the mood to paint." I would also put miniature painting in there as a thing that, like, mood. You should never associate mood with miniature painting. I'm a big fan of the idea of having the habit of miniature painting.
Yeah.
So you always sit down, you're always going to do some painting. The mood can determine what you want to paint,
Sure.
what you'll pick up off your table. But the habit is the thing that keeps you there. And you can paint whenever. If you're in a good mood, bad mood, whatever it happens to be. At the end, you'll just be zen.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I like that.
it's building that discipline, right? Like even if you only paint 10, 15 minutes a night, you're making forward progress.
Exactly. 15 minutes, you can paint the boots on 50 Imperial Guardsmen.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just got to paint them black.
Yep.
I like that. And like I think a big one for me is always like in your book, and you've said this before, but in the book you talk about how painting should be a task, not a chore.
A habit, not a chore. Yeah.
Not a chore.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of like that's gotten me through like the commissions I had to paint over the last couple of weeks. Like it's the holidays, it's bananas, and I was like, I don't want to do this, but I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like, oh, okay, I have 2 hours to spare on this day. I have an hour I can spare on this day. I have an hour I can spare on this day. So I like scheduled my week, and it worked because like a week before I was like, I'm never gonna be able to get this done. I don't have any time. And then the following week I was like, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and then I got them done. Like I finished them, and I was like, oh man, I didn't think I'd be able to get them done.
You gotta ever get them done.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. And there we go. What's it?
Simon, you were talking about Robotech.
Yeah.
Check out. So one of my good buddies got me this as a Christmas present.
Oh, that's sweet. Awesome.
And then this is Macross, and this is
yeah.
Cross. And
Very cool.
my Type A brain was like, oh, well, if there's a third one, I gotta get it. And then he mailed me this. Like, yes, that's awesome.
Sweet. Yeah. Super cool.
Excellent stuff.
Robotech. I was like, oh, I gotta put those away.
Yeah.
Cool. Dave Hummel says, nice models, everyone. Brian says, this has put me in the painting mode too. Scott says, just pick up a brush and a mini and the mood will follow. I'm with Dave. Embargo lifted. Fantastic. Thank you, Scott. Kate says, slow and steady wins the race. A little each night does the trick. Absolutely. And amen, Kate. Story of my chapter build, slow and steady. Might be finished by 2025. Nice. You're putting a date on it. I like it.
All right, so remember, David doesn't get a pin until 2025 if he finishes.
I don't know.
Somebody make a note.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dave Hummel's working on a complete chapter of Space Marines, so
Very cool.
And he's getting through it well. So we are at 1 hour and 45. Oh my goodness, run over a little bit tonight, but that can always happen when you're just talking about fun toy soldiers.
Oh yeah.
Brian says, one of these days, Jake, you will get me to put together and paint that Robotech factory kit from the 80s.
So, as a Robotech fan, you'll appreciate this. I was over at Brian's apartment. This is like last year at Gen Con. So, he has the original model kit. It's the box that's like this big.
Oh yeah.
The original Robotech factory.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait. Now he could sell it online for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It's such a cool model. Like,
yeah.
That's rad.
Awesome stuff. Well, okay, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for our first episode back after the new year. First episode of season 2. Thank you very much, Simon, for being our first guest of the year.
Thanks for having me.
Our second guest ever. I think our first guest that people could actually hear, thanks to me not screwing with the audio. No, it's very cool to have you on to learn a bit more about the Brush Wielders Union.
My pleasure.
Even for somebody like myself who's been a member for a long time, but
thanks for supporting me as long as you have.
It's failed to participate. No, I think it's absolutely super cool, and as I said, everybody works differently, and anything that can help you, help encourage you to keep painting and get some more models on the table is
for sure
all right by me. Absolutely perfect.
Whatever your personal skill level or ambitions are, right? Like it's all about your own journey.
Yep, absolutely great. So everybody, you can check out the link to the Patreon, the Brush Wielders Union Patreon in the comment, the show notes below, whatever they're called. Also, doing it right at the end here, I should have said, don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, all those fun things, all the things that help us to grow. I will also put a link to brushwieldersunion.com down below, or you can just type that in.
It's an easy one.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely make sure everybody signs up, and maybe after Adepticon this year we can do a recap episode, because we'll all be at Adepticon. Maybe we can do maybe we can do a group episode to see who else is going to be at Adepticon, and we can do some crazy episode.
We're doing an Adepticon meetup.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. We could do like a live, like quick stream.
Yeah. And I do meetups for Brush Wielders Union at Adepticon too, so there'll be more on that coming soon.
Maybe
Nice.
we can connect and film it.
Sure.
Oh yeah, it'd be
Send
super.
it live to the YouTubes.
Yeah.
But, absolutely cool. Scott says, I got to go back and catch the beginning. Need to know Simon's deets. The facts. Well, they're all in there.
Yeah.
Simon did a very good job of that. I did a terrible job of interviewing him. So you will.
You're fine.
It will make you laugh. David says, gents, thank you. Everyone else, have a great year. Build, paint, play. Looking at about approximately 3 months till I get models out and paint. Oh, no.
Wow, that sucks.
Oh, you'll be close to here? Fantastic. Sean will be going to Cold Wars. So Cold Wars is coming up at the beginning of March, early March. I haven't worked out yet if I'm going to be going to that. Not 100% sure, but we'll see.
I think I'm only doing 6 shows this year.
Right.
I'm down from 8 last year. I'm doing 6 this year.
Yeah, I haven't worked it out yet. It's going to be good, though. It'll be a good year. Looking forward to it. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Right.
I'm ready here, so.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Well, yeah. And again, thank you all so much for being here, Simon. Thanks again, man. And
Thanks for having me.
we will. Don't forget, as always, people, build,
paint, play.
Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down. and sit down. Shut up and sit down.